Welcome to the Healing Pain Podcast with Dr. Joe Tatta. Each week, we interview top experts in physical therapy, pain science, and integrative pain care. You'll learn the most up-to-date information for treating and reversing persistent pain. This podcast is for educational purposes only and not intended to be used as personalized medical advice. And now, here's your host, Dr. Joe Tatta.
Hey there, friend. Welcome to this week's episode of the Healing Pain Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Joe Tatta. It's great to be here with you. On this week's episode, I'll provide you with some updates and discuss what's new at the Integrative Pain Science Institute. So I wanted to take some time this week to connect with you kind of in a more one-on-one way. I know that you tune in each week to listen to the amazing guests and the topics that we have related to chronic pain. We broadcast those weekly. But I know you're probably wondering, what's Dr. Joe up to? I know Dr. Joe writes some books and he does some research and he creates courses. What else is he working on in the year 2023 and beyond? So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've been working on and developing both individually as well as in a collaborative manner with other physical therapists and other pain researchers. Much of this is new, so I'm excited to share this with you. I think it's going to impact not only the world of chronic pain, but specifically the world of physical therapy. So if you remember back in March, if you're following along with my newsletter, I presented a 2-hour session at the Michigan Annual Physical Therapy Association Conference and Pain Summit. I want to extend a big thank you to the physical therapists and the physical therapist assistants at the Michigan Physical Therapy Association for hosting me. They have an incredible group there, and they are really up to date on some of the latest approaches to treating chronic pain. When I was there, I presented a 2-hour session on something that I have that's new, which is called PRISM. PRISM stands for Pain Recovery and Integrative Systems Model. So PRISM is a model that I've been working on probably for over 2 years. So I want to kind of take you back a little bit and let you know how we arrived here and why this is important at this juncture. So if you've been following along with the Healing Pain Podcast, you know that there are approximately 100 million Americans who live with chronic pain. Out of that 100 million Americans, probably about 20% of them are receiving care that is poor, inadequate, and really outdated. Now, with that, it's resulting in really just an extreme amount of financial loss. So about $600 billion a year is spent in medical treatments and lost productivity related to chronic pain syndromes. Now, if you're like me and you are a healthcare practitioner working in our sick care system, you realize that people with pain are completely frustrated. They're totally fed up with how their pain is being managed and treated, and they're looking for a skilled practitioner who can help them recover from chronic pain in a more kind of humanistic and comprehensive way. Now, we do have this model called the Biopsychosocial model. I'm sure all of you have heard of the Biopsychosocial model for pain at this point. That is used commonly to approach the more multidimensional nature of pain. Although the Biopsychosocial model has faced a lot of criticism both from clinicians as well as researchers. The biggest criticism around the Biopsychosocial model is that, one, people really aren't using the entire model, they're using pieces of it. And when they use pieces of the model, they're emphasizing or underemphasizing either one of the biomedical, psychological, or social factors that are involved in this model. So basically, no one is really using the entire model. In addition, the biopsychosocial model originated outside the profession of physical therapy, and it may not provide either specific clinical guidance or help physical therapists with the clinical decision-making that's needed to treat that complex, multidimensional nature of pain. The other thing is that in the profession of physical therapy, and this is happening in other professions as well, there is a more of a primary care approach, or we're working in a primary care capacity to treat chronic pain. So we're looking for models that can support the advancing scope of contemporary primary care physical therapy practice. Now, what that really means is we're looking for models that are comprehensive, that address the multidimensional nature of pain, that consider biomedical, psychosocial, contextual, as well as lifestyle factors. So with that in mind, over the course of the last 2 years and many meetings and lots of research, I got together with some colleagues and we developed PRISM, Pain Recovery and Integrative Systems Model. It is a cognitive behavioral approach for physical therapy for the management of chronic pain. I want to make sure that I thank and extend my gratitude to my co-authors on this model and make sure to name them by name. So they are Dr. Rose Pignataro. She is a physical therapy professor at Emory and Henry College in Virginia. Janet Besner, who runs the physical therapy program at Texas State University in Round Rock, Texas. Dr. Stephen George, who is a physical therapist and our leading pain researcher. You can find him at the Duke Clinical Research Institute in Durham, North Carolina. And Carrie Rothschild, who is a professor of physical therapy at the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida. Now, you may be asking, why did we take on this project of creating a new model to manage pain? Well, really two reasons. One is we don't have a model that's specific for the physical therapy profession, that's comprehensive in nature. And then two, the National Institutes of Health Federal Pain Research Strategy has called on new models for pain management. So our aim with PRISM was to develop a comprehensive model that addresses the multidimensional nature of pain while building resilience, nurturing human growth, and facilitating pain recovery. So let me share a little bit about the model with you and talk about kind of three of the key benefits of this model. So PRISM is a salutogenic, integrative, cognitive behavioral model to guide physical therapists and other healthcare professionals in managing the multidimensional nature of pain. So let's unpack those three parts for a minute. So we have salutogenic, integrative, and cognitive behavioral. So let's begin with this term salutogenic. So salutogenic basically means to promote health and wellness. PRISM, in the foundation of PRISM, it really is a health and wellness approach to treating pain. The origin of salutogenesis comes from the Latin salus, meaning health, and the Greek genesis, which means origin. So salutogenesis refers to the origins of health. This is a new strength-based approach to pain rehabilitation. It promotes health and wellness. With that, it's life-affirming. It's positive, so it gives people a positive sense, and it's very optimistic. So people see that there's hope in maintaining or improving their health and wellness, sometimes even in the face of pain. The second aspect, integrative, basically means that we conducted a systematic review to find the most important processes responsible for pain recovery and the processes that were responsible for the behavior change necessary for that pain recovery. And then the last part, which is the cognitive behavioral piece, we know or we recognize the influence of the brain, the body, the mind, and behavior in pain management. So bringing a cognitive behavioral approach to PRISM lends to its comprehensive nature. The PRISM model aligns with things that are happening both on a national level here in the United States of America, as well as other international initiatives to better understand and manage chronic pain. It does have some overlapping or some potential application, of course, to address the opioid crisis, because there are overlaps between opioid use and chronic pain. And the idea of building resilience, nurturing growth, and facilitating recovery is something that the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, is actually currently investing a lot of money into, because they really feel that this is the way forward in helping people with chronic pain. So in applying PRISM, you guide people through an evidence-based approach that allows you to treat the whole person. One of the best features of PRISM is that you don't have to chase after the driver of pain or the driver of nociception. Early pain scientists thought that pain relief could only be achieved if we knew the source of nociception, and we'd have to basically identify nociception and then disrupt it, or disrupt the communication of nociception with the brain. We now know that that thinking is flawed. And the reason why is because nociception and pain are actually two different phenomena. And that's really key here. Nociception is the neural process of encoding a noxious stimulus or encoding pain, if you will, where pain is actually a personal lived experience. So really what that tells you is that the personal lived experience of pain involves more than just pathways in the brain. So really what we have here with PRISM is kind of an evolution in our understanding of pain, that pain is a personal experience that of course is involved or influenced by biopsychosocial factors, but it also recognizes that pain and nociception are different constructs. It acknowledges that pain is influenced by our prior life experiences, right? So our life experiences actually construct or shape how we perceive pain. And then finally, pain impacts our health and our well-being. We did write this up in a paper that went through rigorous peer review. It will be published in PTJ, or the Journal of Physical Therapy, very shortly. Make sure you stay connected. So you kind of want to hop on over to my email list by going to the Integrative Pain Science Institute.com and signing up for the newsletter. I'll be releasing updates on the paper once it's published, which should be very, very shortly within the next couple of weeks. But since you're there and I'm here now and we're talking about this model, let me give you a little sneak peek into what we found. So we found these 6 critical domains that are involved in pain recovery. And those 6 domains are person context, purpose, pain literacy, pain mindset, physical capacity, and physiology. So I'll repeat those one more time. Those 6 critical domains that we found through our research were person context, purpose, pain literacy, pain mindset, physical capacity, and physiology. And actually these 6 domains are interconnected. So in some way these have to be addressed, and when you address them, you're more likely to facilitate a successful pain recovery. Now, if you notice, one of those critical domains or those central domains in the PRISM model is what we call pain mindset. So we found there are actually 2 types of pain mindsets in the literature. There is a fixed pain mindset, and there is a flexible pain mindset. So this flexible mindset, or this flexible pain mindset, allows people to flexibly respond to the lived experience of pain. So it allows them to stay motivated. It allows them to engage in behaviors that improve their mood and their disability, and it allows them to respond flexibly to the behaviors that they have to adopt in pain recovery. So as healthcare professionals who treat people with pain, we need skills and tools to help nurture and cultivate this flexible mindset. One of the ways that you can do that is by using mindfulness and psychological flexibility. So mindfulness and psychological flexibility are actually central processes in the PRISM model. Now, if you're already using mindfulness and psychological flexibility exercises, you'll probably notice a marked difference in your patients even after one session. So things like fear, their anxiety, they're less avoidant. All of those things happen as a result of training mindfulness and psychological flexibility, which enhances this one central domain of a flexible pain mindset. So if you notice, we're currently in May, and May is National Meditation and Mindfulness Month. So if you're not using these tools and exercises, it's a great time to implement this into your clinical practice and your personal life. So grab a paper and a pen, or grab your cell phone to make a note. I want to give you a promotion code that'll take 25% off our 2 most popular mindfulness-based programs. The first one is the Mindfulness-Based Pain Relief Practitioner Certification Program. And the second is our ACT for Chronic Pain, or Acceptance and Commitment Therapy for Chronic Pain program. That promotion code is May 2023. That's May 2023. So when you register for the Mindfulness-Based Pain Relief Practitioner Certification Program, or the Acceptance and Commitment Therapy for Chronic Pain program, simply enter the promo code May 2023 to receive 25% off both of those programs. The Mindfulness-Based Pain Relief Practitioner Certification Program is a 7-week virtual online training for all practitioners who treat pain. So as you know, my courses are open to all health and wellness professionals. The great thing about this program, or this certification, is that it teaches patients to use their most greatest tool, and that's their mind, to help alleviate their pain. Research shows that just a couple of minutes of daily practice can help alleviate pain and the other body and mind symptoms that are associated with living with chronic pain. The second course, Act for Chronic Pain, is based on a cognitive behavioral approach for treating chronic pain. We actually published a study based on the results of this course in the Journal of Contextual Behavioral Science last year. You can read that study. It's called The ACT-Trained Physical Therapist, Psychologically Flexible, Resilient, and Armed with Evidence-Based Tools. In that study, we demonstrated how a similar training to this improved psychological flexibility, and the physical therapists who took the course reported ACT to be an essential psychologically informed approach to managing chronic pain. I teach both the mindfulness-based pain relief and the ACT for Chronic Pain courses. Don't miss out. Make sure you enter that promo code May 2023 to receive 25% off any course. You may want to purchase them both because these are complementary approaches that kind of align and reinforce one another. Plus, you'll be able to take advantage of that one-time limited discount, which is only running for the month of May. Now, earlier in today's episode, I spoke about PRISM and how I provided a session to the attendees at the Michigan Physical Therapy Conference, their annual conference. I'm actually going to be doing a national tour to each state's Physical Therapy Association National Conference to speak about PRISM. So if you have a connection to one of your state conferences or your PT state conference, make sure to reach out to me. I'll be happy to meet with you in your state or to deliver that virtually and present a session on PRISM. We will also be presenting a session on PRISM at the 2024 CSM, that's Combined Sections meeting, which is the annual American Physical Therapy Association Conference, which will be in Boston this year. Okay, so that's about all I currently have to share with you, the things that I'm working on, projects both that I'm developing independently and other projects that I'm working on in collaboration with other clinicians and researchers. Stay tuned, of course, I'll release more updates as I have them. Most importantly, I want to thank you for being a part of our community here and for tuning in to the Healing Pain podcast each and every week. Today is episode number 312, so stay tuned for more. We'll have more great guests, great topics, trainings, and offerings coming up shortly. I'm Dr. Joe Tatta. It's been a pleasure spending this one-on-one time with you today. Make sure to share this episode with your friends and family on your favorite social media handle. I wish you continued success and health, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Healing Pain Podcast with Dr. Joe Tatta. To subscribe to the podcast and learn more, visit Integrative Pain Science Institute.com. That's Integrative Pain Science Institute.com. Sign up to receive weekly updates, leave a review on iTunes, and share this episode with your friends.